Do you struggle with English grammar? Do you often get confused about when to use go or goes, was or were? Don't worry, you're not alone. Many English learners face the same challenge. But today, I'm going to make grammar easy for you. In this lesson, I'll take you through the basics of English grammar in an easy-to-understand way. By the end of this video, you'll have a strong foundation in English grammar and be able to use it with confidence. Make sure to watch till the end because I have a fun quiz for you. Let's begin. Before we start learning, let's answer a simple question. What is grammar? Grammar is the set of rules that help us form correct sentences in English. It includes words, sentence structure, tenses, and punctuation. Without grammar, our sentences would be confusing. Imagine saying, "She goes school yesterday." The correct way is, "She went to school yesterday." That's why learning grammar is important. To understand English grammar, you need to know the 8 parts of speech. These are the building blocks of English sentences. Nouns are names of people, places, or things, such as John, London, or book. Pronouns replace nouns, like he, she, they, and it. Verbs are action words, such as run, write, eat, and talk. Adjectives describe nouns, for example, beautiful, big, small, and fast. Adverbs describe verbs like quickly, slowly, and happily. Prepositions show direction, place, or time, such as on, in, under, before, and after. Conjunctions connect words or sentences, like and, but, and because. Finally, interjections are short exclamations, such as wow, oh, and hey. Let's see an example sentence. The happy boy quickly ran to his school because he was late. Understanding these 8 parts of speech will help you improve your grammar fast. Now, let's talk about sentence structure. Every English sentence has 3 main parts. The subject tells us who or what the sentence is about, such as John, the cat, we, or they. The verb describes an action or state of being, like is, run, talk, or eat. The object receives the action, such as a book, the cake, or a message. For example, in the sentence, John is reading a book, John is the subject, is reading is the verb, and a book is the object. Another example is, she loves music. A complete sentence must have these 3 parts. Without them, your sentence is incomplete. Tenses tell us when an action happens, past, present, or future. The past tense describes something that happened before. For example, yesterday, I watched a movie. The present tense describes something happening now, like, I am watching a video. The future tense describes something that will happen later, such as, tomorrow, I will watch a movie. Tenses are very important in English grammar. We will cover each tense in detail in upcoming videos, so stay tuned. Let's talk about some common mistakes that English learners make and how to correct them. Many learners say, she go to school every day. The correct sentence is, she goes to school every day. Another mistake is, I didn't went to the party. The correct sentence is, I didn't go to the party. Similarly, he don't like coffee should be, he doesn't like coffee. By avoiding these mistakes, you will sound more fluent and confident. Now it's time for a quick quiz. Let's test what you've learned today. Answer in the comments. Which of these is a verb? A, slowly. B, jump. C, happy. What is the correct sentence? A, she eat dinner every night. B, she eats dinner every night. Which sentence is in the future tense? A, I will travel to London. B, I travel to London. Comment your answers below. I'll check them and reply. Great job today! You've learned the basics of English grammar, including parts of speech, sentence structure, tenses, and common mistakes. Keep practicing and soon you'll be speaking English fluently. Don't forget to like this video if you found it helpful. Subscribe to the Grammar Doctor for more English lessons and turn on notifications so you never miss a new lesson. Do you ever wonder why English sentences work the way they do? Why do we say, she runs fast instead of she fast runs? The answer lies in the 8 parts of speech, the building blocks of English grammar. Welcome to the Grammar Doctor, where learning English is easy and fun. In today's lesson, we'll break down the 8 parts of speech, explain how they work, and give you simple examples so you can start using them correctly. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear understanding of each part of speech, and I'll even test you with a fun quiz at the end, so stick around. Every English word belongs to one of 8 categories based on how it functions in a sentence. These are nouns, pronouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs, prepositions, conjunctions, and interjections. Nouns are the names of people, places, things, or even abstract ideas. For example, John, teacher, London, school, car, book, love, and happiness are all nouns. If we say, the dog is playing in the park, both dog and park are nouns because they name a thing and a place. Pronouns replace nouns to avoid repetition. Instead of saying, Sarah loves Sarah's dog, we say, she loves her dog. Common pronouns include I, you, he, she, it, we, they, subject pronouns, and me, him, her, us, them, object pronouns. Verbs, on the other hand, tell us what the subject is doing or experiencing. Action verbs include run, write, dance, and jump, while state verbs include is, am, are, was, and were. In the sentence, she writes a letter, the word writes is the verb. Adjectives describe nouns by giving details about their qualities, such as color, size, or characteristics. Words like red, big, beautiful, smart, and strong are adjectives. If we say, the tall girl is reading a new book, the words tall and new describe the girl and the book. Similarly, adverbs describe verbs, adjectives, or other adverbs, answering questions like how, when, where, or to what extent. For example, in she speaks fluently, the adverb fluently tells us how she speaks. Prepositions show the relationship between a noun or pronoun and another word in the sentence. They can indicate place, in, on, under, time, before, after, during, or direction, to, from, into. In, the book is on the table. The word on tells us the book's position. Conjunctions connect words, phrases, or sentences. Common types include coordinating conjunctions like for and nor, but, or yet so, fanboys. Subordinating conjunctions like because, although, since, and while, and correlative conjunctions like either, or, and neither, nor. If we say, I wanted to go out, but it was raining, the word but connects the two ideas. Finally, interjections are short words that express strong emotions such as wow, oh no, ouch. If we say wow, that's amazing, the word wow is an interjection. Now, let's test your knowledge with a quick quiz. Which word is a noun? A. Jump. B. Table. C. Slowly. What is the verb in the sentence, she danced beautifully? A. She danced beautifully. Which sentence contains a preposition? A. I am happy. B. The book is on the table. C. She is dancing. Write your answers in the comments, and I'll reply. Great job today. Now you know the 8 parts of speech and how they work. Keep practicing, and soon you'll be a grammar expert. If this lesson helped you, don't forget to like, subscribe to the Grammar Doctor, and turn on notifications for more fun English lessons. See you in the next lesson. Keep learning and improving. Bye for now. What if I told you that every sentence you say or write needs a noun? Sounds crazy, right? But it's true. Without nouns, our sentences would make no sense. Welcome to the Grammar Doctor, where learning English is easy and fun. In today's lesson, we're diving deep into one of the most important parts of speech, nouns. By the end of this video, you'll know what nouns are, their different types, and how to use them correctly. And don't forget, there's a fun quiz at the end to test your skills. So stay with me till the end. A noun is a word that names a person, place, thing, or idea. For example, words like teacher, doctor, John, and Sarah represent people, while school, park, India, and London refer to places. Nouns can also be things, such as book, phone, chair, and water. Finally, nouns can represent ideas like love, happiness, freedom, and democracy. To understand how nouns function in a sentence, let's look at an example. Sarah reads a book in the park. Here, Sarah is a person, book is a thing, and park is a place. All of them are nouns. Not all nouns are the same. Some nouns are common nouns, which refer to general names of people, places, or things. Words like city, girl, river, and book fall into this category. On the other hand, proper nouns refer to specific names and always start with a capital letter. Examples include London, Sarah, Amazon River, and Harry Potter. For instance, in the sentence, I live in a city called New York, the word city is a common noun, while New York is a proper noun because it names a specific place. Nouns can also be divided into countable and uncountable nouns. Countable nouns are things that you can count, and they have singular and plural forms. Examples include apple, 1 apple, 2 apples, chair, and dog. Meanwhile, uncountable nouns refer to things that cannot be counted individually, such as water, rice, air, and love. For example, in the sentence, I bought 2 apples but I need some rice, the word apples is countable, but rice is uncountable. Another way to categorize nouns is as concrete or abstract. Concrete nouns refer to things you can see, touch, hear, smell, or taste, like table, music, perfume, and cake. Abstract nouns, on the other hand, represent things you cannot see or touch. These are emotions, qualities, or concepts, such as happiness, bravery, knowledge, and honesty. For example, in the sentence, she gave me a flower to show her love. The word flower is a concrete noun, while love is an abstract noun. Some nouns are called collective nouns because they refer to a group of people, animals, or things. For example, a team of players, a flock of birds, or a bunch of grapes are all collective nouns. In the sentence, the jury is discussing the case. The word jury is a collective noun because it refers to a group of people acting as one unit. Most nouns have singular and plural forms. Regular plural nouns simply adds or "-es" to form the plural, such as dog, dogs, and book, books. However, some nouns have irregular plural forms like child, children, tooth, teeth, and man, men. For example, in the sentence, one child is playing, but many children are running. The word child changes to children in the plural form. Nouns play different roles in sentences. They can be the subject, as in, the dog is barking. They can also be the object, like in, she bought a book. Nouns often appear with adjectives, as in, he has a beautiful house. Using nouns correctly helps create clear and meaningful sentences. Now it's time for a quick quiz. Let's see how much you've learned. Comment your answers below, and I'll reply to let you know if you're right. 1. What type of noun is Paris? A. Common noun. B. Proper noun. C. Abstract noun. 2. Which sentence contains a countable noun? A. I drank some water. B. She bought 2 apples. C. He feels happiness. 3. What is the plural form of child? A. Childs. B. Childs. C. Children. Great job today! Now you understand what nouns are, their different types, and how to use them correctly. Keep practicing, and soon you'll be speaking English fluently. If this lesson helped you, don't forget to like, subscribe to the Grammar Doctor, and hit the bell icon for more fun and easy English lessons. See you in the next video. Keep learning, keep growing. Bye for now. Imagine telling a story without using words like he, she, or they. It would sound repetitive and awkward. That's why we have pronouns, small words that make our sentences smooth and natural. Welcome to the Grammar Doctor, your go-to channel for mastering English grammar. In today's lesson, we'll cover pronouns, what they are, their types, and how to use them correctly. And at the end, we have a fun quiz. So stick around till the end. A pronoun is a word that replaces a noun in a sentence. Instead of repeating the same noun again and again, we use pronouns to make our sentences shorter and clearer. For example, without a pronoun, John loves football. John plays football every day. John's friends also love football. Now with a pronoun, John loves football. He plays football every day. His friends also love football. See how much smoother the sentence sounds? That's the power of pronouns. There are different types of pronouns, each serving a specific purpose. Let's go through them one by one. Personal pronouns refer to specific people or things and change based on number, singular, plural, and function. Subject, object. Subject pronouns are used as the subject of a sentence and include I, you, he, she, it, we, they. Object pronouns are used as the object of a sentence and include me, you, him, her, it, us, them. For example, in the sentence, she gave me a book, the word she is a subject pronoun, and me is an object pronoun. Possessive pronouns show ownership or possession. Some examples are mine, yours, his, hers, ours, theirs. For instance, in this bag is mine, but that one is yours. The words mine and yours indicate possession. Reflexive pronouns are used when the subject and object of a sentence are the same. Examples include myself, yourself, himself, herself, itself, ourselves, yourselves, themselves. For instance, she looked at herself in the mirror. Demonstrative pronouns point to specific things, such as this, that, these, those. For example, this is my phone, but that is yours. Interrogative pronouns are used to ask questions, including who, whom, whose, what, which. For example, who is calling me? Relative pronouns connect clauses in a sentence. These include who, whom, whose, which, that. An example is, the book that I borrowed was interesting. Indefinite pronouns refer to people or things without being specific. Some examples are someone, everyone, anybody, nobody, everything, anything. For instance, someone left their bag here. Reciprocal pronouns show mutual action between two or more people. The two reciprocal pronouns are each other and one another. For example, they love each other deeply. To use pronouns correctly, follow these simple rules. Use subject pronouns as the subject of a sentence. For example, he is my friend. Correct? Versus him is my friend. Incorrect. Use object pronouns after verbs or prepositions. For example, she gave the book to me. Correct. Versus she gave the book to I. Incorrect. Use reflective pronouns only when needed. For example, I hurt myself. Correct versus I hurt me. Incorrect. Now it's quiz time. Let's see how much you've learned. Answer in the comments. 1. Which sentence is correct? A. Me love English. B. I love English. 2. What type of pronoun is him? A. Subject pronoun. B. Object pronoun. 3. Fill in the blank. This pen is mine, but that one is I. Comment your answers below, and I'll reply to let you know if you're right. Great job today. Now you know what pronouns are, their types, and how to use them correctly. Keep practicing, and soon you'll be speaking fluently. If you found this lesson helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more fun English lessons on The Grammar Doctor. See you in the next video. Keep learning, keep growing. Bye for now. Imagine trying to speak English without action words or descriptions. How would you say, I eat food, or the sky is blue? That's where verbs and adjectives come in. They bring sentences to life and make communication possible. Welcome to The Grammar Doctor, where we make English grammar easy. In today's lesson, we'll cover two powerful parts of speech: verbs and adjectives. By the end, you'll know how to use them correctly, and we'll have a fun quiz to test your skills. So stay till the end. A verb is an action word. It tells us what someone or something does, is, or feels. Some examples of verbs include action verbs like run, eat, write, dance, and jump. State of being verbs like is, am, are, was, and were. And feeling verbs like love, hate, enjoy, and believe. For example, in the sentence she writes a story, the word writes is an action verb. There are different types of verbs. Action verbs show an action such as run, swim, read, and sing, e.g., he runs fast. Linking verbs connect the subject to a description such as is, am, are, was, and were, e.g., she is happy. Where is connects she and happy. Helping verbs, auxiliary verbs, help the main verb and include words like is, am, are, has, have, will, can, and should, e.g., she is reading a book. Where is helps reading. Modal verbs express ability, permission, or necessity, such as can, must, should, might, and may, e.g., you should study for the test. Verbs also change based on time, forming different tenses. Past tense describes something that happened before, like, she studied English yesterday. Present tense describes something happening now, like, she studies English every day. Future tense describes something that will happen, like, she will study English tomorrow. Verbs help us express time and action correctly. An adjective is a word that describes a noun or pronoun. It tells us more about a person, place, or thing. Some examples include beautiful, tall, small, happy, blue, and fast. In the sentence, the blue sky is beautiful, the words blue and beautiful describe the sky. Adjectives are also divided into different types. Descriptive adjectives describe a noun's quality, such as, she has long hair. Quantitative adjectives show quantity or number, such as, I have 2 books. Demonstrative adjectives point to specific things, using words like this, that, these, and those, e.g., I like this dress but not that one. Possessive adjectives show ownership, using words like my, your, his, her, our, and their, e.g., this is my car. Adjectives also help in making comparisons. Comparative adjectives compare 2 things, like bigger, faster, and taller, e.g., this book is better than that one. While superlative adjectives compare more than 2 things, like biggest, fastest, and tallest, e.g., this is the best book I've read. Verbs and adjectives work together to create clear and expressive sentences. Verbs show action, while adjectives describe the subject. For example, in the happy girl runs quickly, the adjective happy describes the girl, and the verb runs shows the action. Similarly, in he drives a fast car, the adjective fast describes the car, and the verb drives tells us what is happening. Now it's time for a quick quiz. Answer in the comments below. Which word is a verb? A. Beautiful. B. Runs. C. Happy. Fill in the blank. The dog is very bazumper. A. Jump. B. Small. C. Eat. What is the past tense of write? A. Writes. B. Wrote. C. Writing. Comment your answers below and I'll reply to let you know if you're right. Great job today. Now you know the power of verbs and adjectives, how they bring sentences to life. Keep practicing and soon you'll be speaking English with confidence. If you found this lesson helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more grammar lessons on The Grammar Doctor. See you in the next video. Keep learning, keep growing. Bye for now. Imagine describing an action without saying how, when, or where it happens. Imagine giving directions without words like on, in, or under. That would be confusing, right? That's why we have adverbs and prepositions. They help us speak clearly and express ourselves better. Welcome to the Grammar Doctor, where we make English grammar simple and fun. Today, we're diving into 2 important parts of speech: adverbs and prepositions. Stick around till the end because we have a quick quiz to test your skills. An adverb is a word that modifies a verb, an adjective, or another adverb. It tells us how, when, where, or to what extent something happens. For example, in the sentence, "She sings beautifully," the word beautifully describes how she sings. In "He arrived early," the word early tells us when he arrived. And in "They looked everywhere," the word everywhere tells us where they looked. There are different types of adverbs. Adverbs of manner describe how something happens, such as quickly, slowly, happily, badly. Example: she speaks fluently. Adverbs of time tell us when something happens, such as yesterday, today, soon, now, later. Example: we will leave soon. Adverbs of place tell us where something happens, such as here, there, everywhere, outside, inside. Example: he looked everywhere for his keys. Adverbs of frequency tell us how often something happens, such as always, never, sometimes, often, rarely. Example: she always wakes up early. Lastly, adverbs of degree tell us to what extent something happens, such as very, to, almost, completely, extremely. Example: it's very cold today. A preposition is a word that shows the relationship between a noun or pronoun and another word in the sentence. It usually tells us about location, direction, time, or manner. For example, in "the book is on the table," the word "on" tells us the book's position. In "she went to the park," the word "to" shows direction. And in "we will meet after lunch," the word "after" tells us when something happens. The cat is under the table. Prepositions of time tell us when something happens, such as at, on, in, before, after. Example: we will meet at 5 p.m. Prepositions of direction describe movement from one place to another, such as to, from, into, onto. Example: she walked to the store. Prepositions of manner describe how something happens, such as by, with, like, as. Example: he wrote the letter with a pen. Lastly, prepositions of cause and reason explain why something happens, such as because of, due to, thanks to. Example: he was late because of traffic. Adverbs and prepositions often work together to make sentences more detailed and meaningful. For example, she ran quickly, adverb, to the park, preposition. Or, they waited patiently, adverb, at the bus stop, preposition. You can see how adverbs describe actions, while prepositions show relationships. Now, let's test your knowledge with a quick quiz. 1. Which word is an adverb? A. Jump. B. Quickly. C. Behind to. Fill in the blank. The cat is prowl the sofa. A. In B. Running. C. Happily. 3. What type of preposition is before? A. Preposition of time. B. Preposition of place. C. Preposition of manner. Comment your answers below, and I'll reply to let you know if you're right. Great job today. Now you know the difference between adverbs and prepositions and how to use them correctly. Keep practicing, and soon you'll be using them like a pro. If you found this lesson helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more grammar lessons on The Grammar Doctor. See you in the next video. Keep learning, keep growing. Bye for now. Imagine speaking without connecting your ideas. no, and but, or because. It would be like reading a book with broken sentences. And what about expressing strong emotions? How would you say, wow, or ouch? That's why we have conjunctions and interjections. Welcome to the Grammar Doctor, where we make English grammar easy and fun. Today we're covering the last two parts of speech, conjunctions and interjections. Stick around till the end for a quick quiz to test your knowledge. A conjunction is a word that joins words, phrases, or sentences together. For example, in the sentence, I like tea and coffee, the word and connects two nouns. Another example is, she was tired, but she kept working, where but connects two sentences. There are three main types of conjunctions. Coordinating conjunctions join two equal parts of a sentence, such as for, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. Fanboys. An example is, I wanted to go out, but it was raining. Next, we have subordinating conjunctions, which connect a dependent clause to an independent clause. These include because, although, since, if, while, until. For example, I stayed home because I was sick. Finally, correlative conjunctions work in pairs, such as either or neither, nor, both, and not only, but also. A sentence using a correlative conjunction is, you can have either tea or coffee. Moving on to interjections, these are words or phrases that express strong emotions or sudden feelings. For instance, we say, wow, that's amazing, or oops, I dropped my phone, to express surprise or realization. Some interjections express joy, like hooray, yay, wow, while others show pain, such as ouch, ow, ow. We also have interjections of greeting like hello, hi, hey, and those of agreement or disagreement such as yes, no, ma, nah. These words are essential in everyday conversation. Conjunctions and interjections often work together to make sentences more expressive. For example, wow, I wanted to go outside, but it started raining. Another example is, oops, I forgot to bring my book, so I went back home. You can see how conjunctions help connect ideas, while interjections bring emotion into a sentence. Now, let's test your understanding with a quick quiz. First, which word is a conjunction? A and B, ouch, C, hi. Second, fill in the blank. I just won the lottery. A and B, wow. C, because. Finally, what type of conjunction is although? A, coordinating, B, subordinating, C, correlative. Comment your answers below, and I'll reply to let you know if you're right. Congratulations! You've now learned all 8 parts of speech. Conjunctions help us connect ideas, and interjections help us express emotions. Keep practicing, and soon you'll master English grammar. If you found this lesson helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more grammar lessons on The Grammar Doctor. See you in the next video. Keep learning, keep growing. Bye for now. Do you want to sound more professional in English? Have you ever wondered why some sentences focus on the action while others focus on the doer? Understanding the difference between active and passive voice can help you improve your writing and speaking skills. Welcome to The Grammar Doctor, where learning English is easy and fun. Today we are diving deep into one of the most important grammar topics, active and passive voice. By the end of this lesson, you'll know how to use both effectively And you'll even get to test yourself with a fun quiz at the end. So stay with me. Every sentence in English has a subject, a verb, and an object. The way we arrange these elements changes whether the sentence is in the active or passive voice. In active voice, the subject performs the action. In passive voice, the focus shifts to the object, and the doer of the action may be left out or mentioned later in the sentence. Let's look at an example. In the active voice, we say, "The chef cooked a delicious meal." Here, the chef is the subject, cooked is the verb, and a delicious meal is the object. But what if we want to focus on the meal rather than the chef? That's where the passive voice comes in. The sentence becomes, "A delicious meal was cooked by the chef." The object, a delicious meal, moves to the front, and we use the verb, was cooked, to show that the action happened to the meal. Active voice is generally more direct, strong, and engaging. That's why it's preferred in most writing, especially in storytelling, business communication, and casual conversations. For example, "The company launched a new product" sounds more confident than "a new product was launched by the company." In academic writing, scientific reports, or formal documents, passive voice is often used to emphasize results rather than the person performing the action. For instance, "The experiment was conducted in a controlled environment" sounds more formal than "scientists conducted the experiment in a controlled environment." Passive voice is formed using a form of the verb to be, followed by the past participle of the main verb. Let's look at different tenses in both active and passive voice. In present simple, "The teacher explains the lesson" becomes, "The lesson is explained by the teacher." In past simple, "They built the house last year" changes to, "The house was built last year." For future simple, "She will complete the project soon" turns into, "The project will be completed soon." In present continuous, "They are painting the walls" becomes, "The walls are being painted." In past continuous, "The police were investigating the case" changes to, "The case was being investigated." In present perfect, "He has written a novel" turns into, "A novel has been written by him." In past perfect, "They had finished the assignment before the deadline" becomes, "The assignment had been finished before the deadline." There are situations where passive voice is more appropriate than active voice. If the doer of the action is unknown, unimportant, or obvious, passive voice is preferred. For example, "The window was broken" does not specify who broke it, but it conveys the necessary information. Similarly, in formal or professional settings, passive voice helps maintain a neutral tone. "Mistakes were made" sounds less accusatory than "You made mistakes." To make sentences more engaging, writers often avoid passive voice unless necessary. Instead of saying, "A mistake was made by the student," we can simply say, "The student made a mistake." This makes communication clearer and more direct. However, passive voice is useful when we want to be diplomatic, scientific, or emphasize the action rather than the subject. Let's put your knowledge to the test. Try answering these questions in the comments. Convert this active sentence into passive. "The manager approved the new policy." Which sentence is in passive voice? A. The scientist discovered a new planet. B. A new planet was discovered by the scientist. rewrite this passive sentence into active voice. The invitations were sent by the event organizers. Comment your answers below, and I'll reply to let you know if you got them right. Congratulations! Now you know how to use active and passive voice effectively. Keep practicing, and soon you'll be able to switch between them with ease. If you found this lesson helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe to the Grammar Doctor, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a lesson. Keep learning, keep growing, and see you in the next video. To dive deeper, practice rewriting more sentences in both active and passive voice. Try writing a short paragraph and changing it from active to passive, then back again. The more you practice, the easier it becomes. Also, look at newspapers, books, or articles and try to identify whether the sentences are in active or passive voice. This will help you become more aware of how both voices are used in real-life contexts. Remember, active voice is preferred in most situations, but knowing when to use passive voice effectively can enhance your writing and speaking skills. Keep experimenting with different sentence structures, and soon, using both voices will feel natural and effortless. Happy learning! Do you ever wonder why we say, "she is eating" instead of "she eat"? Or why we say, "I went to school yesterday," but not, "I go to school yesterday"? The answer lies in tenses. Tenses are one of the most important parts of English grammar because they help us express time. Whether we're talking about the past, present, or future, tenses allow us to communicate clearly and accurately. If you want to speak English fluently, understanding tenses is a must. Without tenses, our sentences would lack clarity, and others might not understand whether we are talking about something that already happened, something that is happening now, or something that will happen in the future. Every English sentence has a verb, and the verb changes based on the time of action. There are three main tenses in English: past, present, and future. Each of these tenses is further divided into four forms: simple, continuous, perfect, and perfect continuous, making a total of 12 tenses. Each of these forms has a specific use, and once you understand them, you'll be able to express yourself more naturally in English. These 12 tenses might seem difficult at first, but once you get familiar with them, you'll realize how they help you speak English more correctly. Mastering tenses will not only improve your grammar, but also boost your confidence when speaking, writing, and understanding English. Let's start with the present tense. The present simple tense is used for facts, routines, and habits. For example, the sun rises in the east, and she plays football every Sunday. We use the present simple tense when talking about things that happen regularly or that are always true. It does not describe actions that are happening at this moment, but rather things that are generally true. This tense is the most basic form of expressing actions and is used very frequently in everyday English. Another common use of the present simple tense is to express scheduled events, such as "the train leaves at 6 p.m." or "the movie starts at 8 p.m." Even though these sentences talk about the future, we use the present simple because they refer to fixed schedules or timetables. The present continuous tense, on the other hand, is used to talk about actions happening right now. For example, she is reading a book. This tense is formed using the verb to be. am, is, are, followed by the main verb with ing. If someone asks, "What are you doing?" you can answer using the present continuous, "I am watching a movie." We also use the present continuous tense to talk about temporary actions or ongoing situations. For example, "I am staying with my friend for a few days" means that my stay is temporary and will change soon. Additionally, this tense is used to talk about planned future actions, like, "I am meeting my friend tomorrow." The present perfect tense connects the past to the present. For example, "I have finished my homework." This means that the action of finishing happened in the past, but the result is still relevant in the present. We often use this tense when talking about life experiences or things that have happened at some point before now. For example, "I have visited Paris" means that at some time in the past, I went to Paris, but the exact time is not mentioned. This tense is commonly used in conversations when people ask about experiences, such as, "Have you ever been to New York?" or "Have you ever tried sushi?" The present perfect continuous tense is used for actions that started in the past and are still happening. For example, "She has been studying for 3 hours." This tense emphasizes the duration of an action that began in the past and is continuing into the present. It helps express how long an action has been happening, usually with time expressions like "for" and "since." For example, "I have been working here since 2015, or "He has been waiting for 2 hours. Now let's move on to the past tense. The past simple tense is used for completed actions in the past. For example, "He visited Paris last year." This means that the action of visiting Paris happened at a specific time in the past and is now over. This is one of the most commonly used tenses in storytelling. If you want to describe what happened in a movie or a book, you will mostly use the past simple tense. For example, "He opened the door, walked into the room, and sat down." The past simple tense is also used for historical facts, such as World War II ended in 1945. The past continuous tense is used for actions that were happening at a specific time in the past. For example, "I was watching TV when she called." This means that the action of watching TV was in progress when another action, the phone call, happened. This tense is useful when describing background events in a story. For example, "The wind was blowing and the children were playing in the park when it suddenly started to rain." The past perfect tense shows that one past action happened before another. For example, "She had already left when I arrived." This means that first she left and then I arrived. This tense helps us make the sequence of events clear. Without it, the meaning could be confusing. For example, "He had finished his dinner before I arrived" makes it clear that the dinner was completed before my arrival. The past perfect continuous tense is used for actions that were happening for a duration before another action in the past. For example, "He had been working at the company for 5 years before he got promoted." This emphasizes how long something had been happening before another past event took place. Finally, let's look at the future tense. The future simple tense is used for actions that will happen in the future. For example, "I will call you tomorrow." This is the most common way to talk about future plans or intentions. The future continuous tense is used for actions that will be happening at a specific time in the future. For example, this time next week I will be traveling to London. This means that at a particular moment in the future, the action will be in progress. The future perfect tense shows that an action will be completed before a certain point in the future. For example, by next year, I will have finished my degree. This means that before the end of next year, the action of finishing my degree will be completed. The future perfect continuous tense is used for actions that will have been happening for a period of time before a future moment. For example, by the time you arrive, I will have been waiting for 2 hours. This tense focuses on the duration of an action up to a specific point in the future. Understanding tenses is essential for clear communication. Without them, we wouldn't be able to express when things happen. Imagine telling a story without tenses. It would be confusing for the listener to know if events happened yesterday, today, or in the future. Learning and practicing these tenses will help you speak and write English with confidence. The best way to master tenses is to practice them in real-life conversations. Try making sentences using different tenses. Listen to native speakers and pay attention to how they use tenses in everyday speech. You can also read books and watch movies in English to see how tenses are used naturally. Keep practicing, listen carefully, and soon you'll be using English tenses like a pro. Do you ever wonder how words come together to form clear and meaningful sentences? Why do we say, "She is reading a book," instead of "reading book she is"? The answer lies in the structure of a sentence. Understanding sentence structure is one of the most important aspects of mastering English. Whether you're speaking or writing, knowing how to arrange words correctly will make your communication clearer and more effective. Every sentence consists of different elements that work together to express a complete thought. The basic unit of any sentence is the subject and the predicate. The subject is the part that tells us who or what the sentence is about, while the predicate contains the verb and gives more information about the subject. For example, in the sentence, "The cat sleeps," the cat is the subject, and sleeps is the predicate. Without a subject or a predicate, a sentence would be incomplete and meaningless. Expanding on this, we can see that sentences can take different forms, depending on their length and complexity. A simple sentence contains just one independent clause, like "she sings beautifully." An independent clause is a group of words that has a subject and a verb and expresses a complete idea. However, when we want to add more information, we move to compound or complex sentences. A compound sentence is formed by joining two independent clauses using conjunctions like and, but, or. For example, "She sings beautifully," and "she plays the piano." On the other hand, a complex sentence includes an independent clause and at least one dependent clause. A dependent clause cannot stand alone as a complete sentence. For example, "She sings beautifully because she practices every day." Here, "because she practices every day" is a dependent clause that adds more meaning to the main idea. Understanding sentence types helps us communicate more effectively. A declarative sentence states a fact or opinion, like, "The sun is shining." An interrogative sentence asks a question such as, "Is the sun shining?" An imperative sentence gives a command, like, "Close the door." And an exclamatory sentence expresses strong emotion, such as, "What a beautiful day." Knowing how to use these different sentence types makes our speech and writing more dynamic and engaging. Another important aspect of sentence structure is word order. In English, sentences typically follow a subject-verb-object (SVO) pattern. For example, John eats an apple. Here, John is the subject, eats is the verb, and an apple is the object. Changing the word order can alter the meaning or make the sentence incorrect. Imagine saying, eats an apple John. This would be confusing and grammatically incorrect. This is why understanding the correct word order is essential for clear communication. Modifiers are another key element of sentence structure. Adjectives and adverbs add extra details and make sentences more descriptive. For example, instead of saying, she runs, we can say, she runs quickly, to give more information about how she runs. Misplacing modifiers, however, can lead to confusion. Consider the sentence, she almost ate all the cookies. This means she nearly ate them but didn't. But if we say, she ate almost all the cookies, it means she ate most of them. Small changes in sentence structure can have a big impact on meaning. Sentence structure also involves the use of phrases and clauses. A phrase is a group of words that work together but do not contain both a subject and a verb. Examples include, in the morning, or running fast. A clause, on the other hand, has both a subject and a verb. Independent clauses can stand alone as complete sentences, while dependent clauses rely on the main clause for meaning. Using phrases and clauses effectively can make sentences more interesting and informative. Parallel structure is another key component of well-formed sentences. It means keeping the same grammatical form when listing items or ideas. For example, she likes swimming, running, and cycling is correct, because all the activities follow the same verb form. However, she likes swimming, to run, and cycling is incorrect, because to run is not in the same form as the other verbs. Parallel structure makes sentences smoother and easier to read. A well-structured sentence is not just about grammar. It also creates a natural flow of ideas. Good writers and speakers use sentence variety to make their communication more engaging. Short sentences can be powerful and direct, while longer sentences allow for more details and complexity. By combining different sentence structures, we can make our speech and writing more compelling. Understanding the structure of a sentence is essential for mastering English. It helps us form clear, logical, and grammatically correct sentences. Whether we are writing an essay, having a conversation, or giving a speech, knowing how to organize our thoughts into well-structured sentences allows us to communicate effectively. Keep practicing, experiment with different sentence types, and soon, building strong and meaningful sentences will become second nature to you. My name is Elena. I am on a plane. I don't want to be here. I don't want to go anywhere, but I have no choice. Everything feels wrong. My life is a mess. I feel angry. I feel tired. I feel lost. Last week, I failed my exam at the university. It was important. It was the final exam. I studied, but I could not focus. I tried, but I still failed. 2 days ago, I lost my job. My boss said, "You are not doing your best." I didn't know what to say. I just left. At home, things are not better. My parents don't listen to me. They don't understand me. They always say, "You must be stronger," or "Stop complaining." But they don't really hear me. I feel stress every day. I can't sleep. I can't smile. I can't think clearly. Now I am on this plane. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't care about the destination. I just want to go far away. The flight starts. People talk. People laugh. People eat. I don't care. Then someone speaks to me. "Hello?" she says. I don't answer. "My name is Margaret," she says. I say nothing. "Are you okay?" she asks. "I'm fine," I say. "But I'm not fine." She says, "You look tired. Sometimes a story can help." "A story?" "I will tell you a story." She says, "It's a true story." I don't stop her. I don't know why. Why is she telling me this story? Why me? Why now? I don't know. But I start to listen. The woman next to me starts to talk. Her name is Margaret. I want to tell you something. She says, "Can I?" I don't say yes, I don't say no, but she talks anyway. "You look tired," she says. Not sleepy, just tired from life. I don't answer. I know that feeling, she says. I want her to stop, but I also want to know more. She says, "Sometimes, when everything looks good on the outside, it feels bad on the inside." I look at her. She keeps talking. "People think you're okay because you have a house, a bed, food, clothes, maybe even a car, money, nice things." I listen. But inside you feel empty. How does she know? She says, "I used to feel like that." I finally speak. "I don't know what's wrong with me," I say. "I have everything, but I feel nothing." She nods. Then she says, "Tell me more." So I talk. "My parents don't understand me," I say. "They say I have no problems, but they don't see me. I failed my exam last week. I lost my job. I feel like a mistake. I feel like I can't do anything right." She says, "You are not a mistake." I stay quiet. "Do you want to hear a story?" she asks. "What kind of story?" I say. "A true one," she says. "About a girl who also had everything and still felt lost." Why does she want to tell me this? What is this story? And why do I want to hear it? Margaret looks at me. She had a big house, she says. She had a good job. She had a family. She had many friends. I listen. She smiled every day, Margaret says. But inside, she was not happy. Why? I ask. She didn't know, Margaret says. She just felt tired. Every day felt heavy. Every night felt long. Was she sick? I ask. No, Margaret says. Doctor said she was healthy, but her heart was not okay, not broken, just empty. I look at her. So what did she do? She tried to ignore the feeling, Margaret says. She worked more. She bought things. She went to parties. She laughed with friends. Did it help? I ask. No, she says. It got worse. I stay quiet. I think about my life. Margaret continues. One day, she was at work. She had a meeting. She looked at her papers. And then, she just stood up. She left everything. Just like that? I ask. Yes, Margaret says. She went home. She packed a small bag. She bought a plane ticket. She didn't tell anyone. She just left. Where did she go? I asked. She didn't know, Margaret says. She just picked a place far away. I feel something. Her story sounds close to mine. She sat on a plane, Margaret says. She felt tired. She felt lost. She felt like she was not living her life, just surviving. Did she talk to someone? I ask. Yes, Margaret says. She sat next to a woman, an old woman, kind, calm. The woman asked, "Are you okay?" I remember those same words. Margaret asked me that. She said, "I'm fine." Margaret continues, but the woman knew she was not fine. So the woman told her a story. Like you are doing now? I say. Yes, Margaret says. Exactly. What was the story? I ask. It was simple, Margaret says. It was about pain, about mistakes, about second chances, about not giving up. Did it change her? I ask. Yes, she says. It helped her see something. Life doesn't need to be perfect, but it must be honest. You can't lie to yourself. You can't hide from your feelings. I feel quiet inside. Then I ask, what happened to the girl? She made a choice, Margaret says, to go back, to fix what she could, to accept what she could not, to ask for help, to start again. I feel my heart beat faster. Why are you telling me this? I ask. Because I see you, she says. I know that look. I remember that silence. I remember the pain. I want to ask more. But I don't, because part of me already knows. I look at Margaret. She just sits there telling me all this. I don't understand everything, but something inside me is listening, something deep. She says, that girl went home. People were angry. People didn't understand. What did she do? I ask. She said sorry, Margaret says. She said, I was lost. I didn't know how to ask for help. Did they forgive her? I ask. Not everyone, she says, but some did. Some waited for her. I feel my eyes burning. I don't know why. Margaret says, she went back to school. She started again. She studied slowly, one step at a time. She failed again, but this time she didn't quit. I ask, was it hard? Yes, Margaret says. It was very hard. Did she get better? I ask. Yes, she says, because she didn't give up. Then she stops talking for a moment. I ask, and what about her job? She found a new one, Margaret says. Not right away. It took time, but she kept trying. I think about my own job, my exam, my parents, myself. Everything feels too much. I say, I don't think I can do that. Margaret looks at me. Why not? Because I always fail, I say. No, she says. You feel like you fail. That's different. I say nothing. She says, let me tell you something important. I listen. She says, your pain is real. Your stress is real. Your sadness is real. It does not have to be forever. I feel something move inside me. Not my body, my thoughts. She continues, you can cry, you can stop, you can rest. But don't stay there. Don't live in that pain. I ask, but what if I can't change? You can, she says. You already started. What do you mean? I ask. You are listening, Margaret says. You didn't push me away. You didn't stop the story. That means something inside you is ready. Ready? Me? She says, change is not big. It's small. One choice, one moment, one thought. I stay quiet. Then I ask, who is that girl in your story? Margaret looks at me. She says, that girl was me. I freeze. You? I ask. Yes, she says. It was me. I don't speak. I don't know what to think. She says, if I can change, maybe you can too. I look at Margaret. You were that girl? I ask. Yes, she says. I was lost. I was tired. I wanted to disappear, just like you. I don't know what to say. How did you change? I ask. I listened to a story, she says, just like you are doing now. A story? I ask. Yes, she says. I was on a plane, like this. I sat next to an old woman. She talked to me. I didn't want to listen, but she didn't stop. She told me about her life, her pain, her mistakes. I listened carefully. She said something I never forgot, Margaret says. She said, "You are not broken. You are just tired. But tired is not forever." I repeat it in my mind. Tired is not forever. Then I ask, do you think I can change too? She looks at me. I don't think, she says. I believe. I stay quiet. Then she says something I don't expect. Elena, she says, you remind me of my daughter. I look at her. You have a daughter? Yes, she says, but we don't talk now. Why not? I asked. She left, Margaret says. She felt alone. She felt like I didn't understand her. I listen. I wanted to help her, she says, but I didn't know how. I feel something strange. She continues. That's why I talk to people now, on planes, on buses, in lines, anywhere. To help them? I asked. To help me, she says. Every story I tell, it helps me heal. I think for a moment. Do you miss your daughter? I ask. Every day, she says. I think of her every night. I hope she is okay. What is her name? I ask. She looks down for a second. Then she says, her name is Elena. I stop breathing. What? I ask. Elena, she repeats. That's her name. My name. Her daughter's name is my name. I don't understand. Is this just a story? Is this a coincidence? Or something more? She looks at me again, and I ask myself, is this just a flight? Or is this something bigger? I feel cold inside. Her daughter's name is Elena. My name is Elena. I want to ask more questions, but I stay quiet. Maybe it's a coincidence, or maybe not. Margaret doesn't say anything for a moment. Then she speaks. She left when she was young, she says. She said, you don't see me. Then she walked out. I listened. I didn't understand her pain, Margaret says. I thought she had everything. A good home, good food, school, safety. But I didn't see her heart. I look at her. She says, now I talk to people. I try to give what I didn't give her. She takes a deep breath. I hope she is happy. I hope someone listens to her. I hope someone tells her what I couldn't say.
What's that?
I ask. She looks at me. Then she says, you are not a problem. You are a person. I feel something change in me. No one ever said that to me before. She continues, you don't need to be perfect. You don't need to know everything. You just need to keep going. I want to believe her. The plane starts to descend. We are almost at our destination. But something feels different now. I don't feel heavy. I feel ready. I say, thank you, Margaret. She smiles. I say, I don't know what will happen next, but I want to try again. She says, that's enough. One small try can open a big door. The plane lands. People stand. People talk. People wait. We sit for a moment. Then I say, Maybe I can call my parents. She nods. I say, maybe I can send my professor an email. She nods again. I say, maybe I can look for a new job, a small one, just to start. She says, yes. That's how it begins. We stand up. I take my bag. I walk toward the door. Before I leave, I turn to look at her one last time, but she's not there. I look around. I ask a flight attendant, where is the woman who sat next to me? The flight attendant says, I don't know. I didn't see anyone sit there. I feel confused. Did I imagine her? Was she real? I don't know. But one thing is clear now. Something inside me has changed, and maybe that's all I needed. I don't know if Margaret was real. I don't know if she was a dream. But her words were true. And now, I see something clear. Sometimes we look fine on the outside, but we are not okay inside. Sometimes we think we are alone, but someone is ready to listen. Sometimes we think we must be strong, but it's okay to ask for help. We don't need a perfect life. We just need a reason to keep going. One small step, one small change, one small hope. So if you feel tired, if you feel lost, remember this. You are not a problem. You are a person, and your story is not over yet. I sit by the window. The sun is warm, but my heart feels cold. Today is important. My children will come. I have not seen them in a long time. I think about my life. I worked hard. I made money. I built a business. People said, "You are successful." But was I? I remember Elena, my little girl. She had a soft voice. "Daddy, will you come to my school play?" she asked one day. "I have a meeting," I said. She was quiet. Later, my wife said, "She was sad. You should have gone." "I am working for them," I said, "for a better future." Elena grew up. My son, Michael, too. They had birthdays, school events, family dinners. I missed many of them. I always said, "Later." But later never came. I hear a sound. Is that a car? Are they here? No. Just the wind outside. I wait. I remember another day. Michael was small. He wanted to play. "Just 10 minutes, Dad," he said. "I'm busy," I answered. He ran to his room. My wife said, "He wanted time with you." I sighed. One day he will understand. But now I understand. I checked the clock. They said they would come. Will they? Time is strange. Before I had no time. Now I have too much. I wait. I think. I regret. My phone rings. I answer quickly. "Dad, we are coming," Elena says. I close my eyes. "I will be here," I say. I wait. The clock moves slow. My children are coming. But will they really come? I think about the past. I wanted the best for my family. a big house, a good life, no problems with money. I thought this was love. I thought this was enough. But love is not money. Love is time. And I did not give them time. I remember one night, my wife made a special dinner. Come home early, she said. The kids want to eat with you. I have work, I said. Elena waited all day, she said. I am doing this for them, I said. So they never need to worry. That night, I ate alone in my office. Papers, phone calls, meetings. No laughter, no family, no Elena, no Michael. I hear a sound outside. I listen. A car? No, just people walking. I think about another day. Michael had a soccer game. He was excited. Dad, will you come? He asked. I have work, I said. Next time. There is no next time, my wife said later. There is always next time, I answered. But time does not wait. I check my phone. No message from them. I think about my father. He worked hard too. He was never home. I promised myself I will be different, but I was the same. Elena grew up. She stopped asking. Michael too. One day I realized they did not wait for me anymore. I see the clock again. Time is slow when you wait, but in life, time runs fast. My phone rings. My heart jumps. I answer. Dad, we are almost there, Elena says. I close my eyes. I will be here, I say. I wait. The clock keeps moving. My children are coming. But will they really come? I think about my wife. She always told me the same thing. You work too much. The children need you. I am doing this for them, I always said. One night, she was waiting for me. Michael cried today, she said. Why? I asked. You promised to go to his school presentation. You did not go. I had an important meeting, I said. He was on stage, looking for you, she said. He did not see you. He looked again. Still, no you. He stood there, waiting. I was quiet. He is learning something, she said. What? I asked. He is learning that work is more important than him. I did not answer. I hear something outside. I listen. A car?
No.
Just voices on the street. I think about another day. Elena was older. She had good grades. One day she came home happy. Dad, I won an award at school, she said. That's great, I said. I am proud of you. There is a ceremony tomorrow. Will you come? She asked. I have a business trip, I said. She was quiet. That night, my wife said she wanted you there. She knows I am busy, I said. She knows, my wife said. That is the problem. I check my phone. No message. I wait. I remember the day my wife got sick. She was in bed. Stay home today, she said. I have a big project, I said. She smiled a little. Of course. Work is important. She did not ask again. I came home late that night. The house was quiet. She was sleeping. I sat next to her. I thought, tomorrow, I will stay with her. But there was no tomorrow. I hear something outside again. A car. Maybe. I think about the last time I saw Elena and Michael. It was years ago. They had their own lives. I will visit soon, I said. Okay, Dad, they said. But they did not look at me. I checked my phone again. Still nothing. I ask myself, do they really want to see me? I wait, and keep waiting a little more. The clock moves, but time feels slow. My children said they were coming. But what if they change their mind? I look at my phone. No new messages. I think about the past again. I was always too busy. Always working, always saying, next time. But now I have no more next times. I hear something outside. A car? I listen. The sound stops. I wait. Nothing. Maybe they will not come. Maybe they are too busy now, just like I was. I remember the last time we spoke on the phone. It was months ago. Dad, how are you? Elena asked. I'm fine, I said. How are you and Michael? We are fine, she said. We are busy. Busy. The same word I always used. I wanted to say, please, visit me. But I didn't. I checked my phone again. Still nothing. I think about another day, a day long ago. It was Elena's graduation. My wife called me. Come quickly, she said. The ceremony starts soon. I am stuck at work, I said. I will come later. There is no later, she said. She is walking on stage now. I felt something inside me, but I stayed at work. That night I came home late. Elena was sitting at the table. Her graduation cap was next to her. I waited, she said. I'm sorry, I said. She stood up. It's okay, Dad. I didn't expect you to come. I wanted to say something, but I said nothing. I hear another sound. I listen carefully. A car door closes. Then another. Is it them? Are they really here? I wait. The seconds feel long. Then my phone rings. My hands feel heavy as I pick it up. Dad, Elena says. We are here. I closed my eyes. I feel something inside my chest. Something I cannot explain. They came. I hear their voices outside. They are really here. I take a deep breath. I have waited for this moment. I have thought about this day for a long time. I hear footsteps. The door opens. Dad, Elena says. I smile. You came. Michael is there too. He looks at me. Of course, Dad. I look at them. They look older. Or maybe I'm just seeing clearly for the first time. Elena steps closer. How do you feel? She asks. I feel happy to see you, I say. Michael looks at me. We wanted to come earlier, he says, but life is busy. Dizzy. That word again. I understand, I say. There is a silence. I wait. Then Elena says, Dad, we need to tell you something. I look at her. What is it? She hesitates. Dad, this is not your house. I feel confused. What do you mean? Michael looks down. Dad, you're in the hospital. I blink. The hospital? No, that cannot be right. I am sitting in my chair. I am waiting at home. I shake my head. No, I am at home. I am waiting for you. I have been waiting all day. Elena takes a deep breath.
Dad.
You have been here for a week? A week? No. That is not possible. Try to remember. I remember waiting. I remember thinking about the past. But now, I cannot remember how I got here. Michael speaks. You collapsed at home. The doctors say you were very weak. I closed my eyes. I try to understand. Then I remember. I was at home. I felt dizzy. My chest hurt. The room was spinning. I tried to stand, but my legs felt weak. Then, nothing. I opened my eyes. I thought I was at home. Elena holds my hand. Dad, you have been sleeping a lot. Maybe you were dreaming. Dreaming. Or maybe I was remembering. I look at them. So, why are you here? Michael smiles a little. Because you are our dad. I feel something deep inside. Something warm. All these years I was afraid. Afraid that I lost them. Afraid that they did not care. But they came. I close my eyes. I take a deep breath. Maybe I'm not too late? I wait. But this time, I'm not alone. I look at Elena and Michael. They are here. After all these years, they are here. I feel tired, but not in the way I used to. Before, I was tired from work, from stress, from always chasing more. Now, I am just tired from waiting. Michael looks at me. Dad, we are staying, he says. I stare at him. Staying? Elena nods. Yes. We are not leaving today. I do not know what to say. For so many years I was alone. I thought they moved on. I thought they did not need me anymore. But now, they are here, and they want to stay. I take a deep breath. I thought, maybe you would not come. Elena frowns. Why would you think that? Because I was not there for you. I say, I missed so much. I was always working, always saying, next time. Michael looks down. Yes, you missed a lot, he says softly. Elena sighs. We were hurt, Dad. We waited for you many times. We wanted you there. I close my eyes. I know. I whisper. There is silence. Then Michael speaks. But we are here now. I open my eyes. Why? Elena smiles a little. Because you are our father. And we still love you. I feel something inside me break. All these years I thought love had a limit. I thought I had lost them forever. But love is not like money. It does not disappear. Tears fill my eyes. I do not stop them. Michael speaks again.
Dad?
Let's not talk about the past anymore. I look at him. Then what do we talk about? Elena smiles. About now. About today. I feel something warm in my chest. For the first time in my life, I do not think about work. I do not think about money. I do not think about next time. I just think about now. I smile. Okay. Tell me everything. And for the first time, I listen. Elena looks at her father. He is older now. Weaker. But today he is present. Today he is listening. She thinks about the past, the birthdays, the school events, the moments he missed. She remembers the feeling of waiting, the hope that maybe this time he would come. But he never did. And yet here they are, together. She wonders how many people are making the same mistake right now. How many parents are saying, I am working for my children, but forgetting to be with them. How many children are waiting, hoping, and slowly learning not to expect anything. Time does not stop. It moves fast. One day, children stop waiting. They grow up. They build their own lives. And the parents who were always too busy suddenly have too much time, and no one to share it with. Elena looks at her father. She sees regret in his eyes. But she also sees something else. Hope. Not all lost time can be recovered. But today is still here. And today is a choice. She makes a silent wish for everyone who hears this story. Do not wait until it is too late. Love is not about money. It is about time. Give it now, while you still can.
My name is Elena. I live in a small country. Life here is not easy. There are no good jobs. There are no big dreams. Every day feels the same. I want something more. I say to my best friend, Sophia, I want to go to New York. She looks surprised. Really? She says, yes, I say. I want a better life. I want a new chance. I can't stay here anymore. Sophia thinks for a moment. Then she says, I want to go too. We talk for hours. We talk about work. We talk about the future. We talk about dreams. We say, New York is big. Maybe we can find a job. Maybe we can learn English. Maybe we can help our families. But we don't have money. We don't have a plan. We don't know anyone in New York. Still, we say, let's go. That night, I tell my parents, I say, I want to leave. I want to go to New York with Sophia. My mother says, no, it's too dangerous. My father says, you don't know what can happen. I say, I know. But I can't stay here. I have no future here. They say, you are too young. You don't understand. I say, I understand enough. I know I want to try. My mother says, you can die. I say, I can also die here, without hope. No one talks after that. The room is quiet. The air feels heavy. In the morning, Sophia sends me a message. She writes, are we going? I look at my phone. I write back, yes, we're going. But I ask myself, are we ready? What if we make a mistake? What if we don't find anything? What if we never come back? So many questions. So much fear. But also, a small light inside me says, go. Sophia and I find cheap tickets. We buy them. The date is set. We are leaving in 3 days. We don't tell many people. We are afraid they will stop us. We only tell our families. My mother says, please don't go. My father says, you don't know the world. It is not safe. I say, I know, but I have to try. Sophia and I talk every night. We say, are we doing the right thing? We don't know. We don't sleep much. We are nervous. We are scared. But we are also excited. The night before the trip, I sit in my room. I think about my life. I think about the future. What if we get lost? What if we don't find work? What if something bad happens? But I also think, what if something good happens? What if we find hope? Then the day comes. My mother says, you still have time to stay. I say no, I must go. My father gives me a small amount of money. He says, use it only if you really need it. I say, thank you. We leave early. Sophia and I meet at the station. She says, are you ready? I say no, but let's go anyway. We get on the bus. We don't talk much. I look out the window and think, this is real. We are leaving. There is no way back now. Sophia whispers, do you think we will be okay? I say, I don't know, but we will try. Then the bus starts moving. And I wonder, what will we find on the way? The trip is long. The bus stops many times. People come and go. Sophia and I stay quiet. We don't sleep. We don't eat much. We just think. We don't have a plan. We don't know where to go. We only know one thing. We want a better life. At one stop, a man talks to us. He says, where are you going? We say, to New York. He smiles and says, I can help you. I know people. I know a place where you can stay. Sophia looks at me. I don't answer. Then he says, I just need your passports, only for a moment. No, I say. He says, why not? I only want to help. I say, we are okay. He doesn't speak again. Later, I say to Sophia, we can't trust anyone. She says, yes, you're right. We arrive in a new city. It's not New York yet. We need to wait for the next bus. We look for a cheap place. We find one. It's small. It's not clean, but it's the only one we can pay. We use some of our money. We eat some bread. We drink water. That's all. I look at my bag. I think, we don't have much left. Just a little money, just a little food. What if we run out? The next day, we go to the station. The line is long. We wait for hours. It is hot. It is loud. Finally, we get on the next bus. Sophia says, I miss home. I say, me too. Then I ask, do you want to go back? She says, no, not yet. I say, me neither. At night we stop again. We are in a small town. We don't know the name. We hear people speaking in English. We don't understand. I say, we must learn English soon. Sophia says, yes, we need it. We stay at the station that night. We try to sleep sitting down. There is noise. There is fear. But there is also hope. I think, we are tired. We are hungry, but we are still here. The next morning I look at Sophia and say, one more bus. Then we're in New York. She says, one more chance. We get on the bus again. I ask myself, what will we do in New York? Where will we sleep? Who will help us? I don't know the answers, but I do know this. We are not giving up. After many hours, the bus finally stops. We are in New York. People stand up, they talk fast, they speak English. I don't understand much. Sophia looks at me and says, we are here. I say, yes, but now what? We don't have a place to stay. We don't have jobs. We don't know anyone. We don't speak English well. I feel lost. We walk to the main exit of the station. There are many people. Some are shouting, some are laughing, some are asking questions. Then, a woman walks to us. She says something I don't understand. She repeats, are you okay? Sophia and I look at each other. I don't know if we should talk to her. I say, no English. The woman smiles. Then, she speaks Spanish. She says, I speak Spanish. I can help. I don't know what to say. Sophia whispers, can we trust her? I think. I don't know, but we are tired. We are hungry. We don't have many choices. I say, we need help. The woman says, come with me. There is a safe place. You can rest. You can eat. I ask, why do you help us? She says, I was like you once. I ask again, it's safe? She says, yes, it's safe. Trust me. Sophia looks at me. I nod. We follow her. On the way, I think, what if she is lying? What if this is a trap? What if we never come back? But I also think, what if she tells the truth? What if this is our chance? I ask myself, did we make a mistake? Then we stop in front of a door. She says, "This is the place. You can go in." I look at Sophia. She looks at me. We don't speak. My heart is full of fear and hope. I take a deep breath inside my mind. I ask myself, should we go in? We go inside. It is quiet. The woman says, "This is a shelter. You can sleep here. You can eat." I say, "Thank you." She says, "There are many girls here, just like you. Some have no family. Some have no money. Some are looking for work." I ask, "Do you work here?" She says, "No, I volunteer." I say, "Why?" She says, "Because I was you. I came here with nothing. Someone helped me. Now I help others." I feel something in my heart. I don't say it, but I think it. Maybe good people still exist. Sophia and I sit in a small room. We eat a sandwich. We drink water. It is simple. But to us, it feels like a gift. Later, the woman comes back. She says, "Tomorrow there is a job fair. Many companies will be there. You can go." I ask, "Can we go without papers?" She says, "Some places accept people like you. It's not easy, but it's possible." Sophia asks, "What kind of jobs?" The woman says, "Cleaning, cooking, helping in shops." I say, "We can try." The next day, we go to the job fair. There are many people. It is loud. People speak fast. We don't understand everything. We walk slowly. We look at the tables. A man says, "Do you want to work?" We stop. He says, "I need help in my bakery. Early mornings, hard work, but it's honest." I say, "We don't speak English well." He says, "It's okay. You will learn." Sophia asks, "Can we start tomorrow?" He says, "Yes. Come at 5 a.m. We say, "Thank you." I can't believe it. I ask myself, did we really find a job? Just like that? After so many problems? After all the fear? That night I cannot sleep. I think we are not home. We are not safe yet. But this is something. This is a start. Sophia says, "I'm scared." I say, "Me too, but we are here, and we are together." She says, "Do you think everything will be okay?" I say, "I don't know." Then I say, "But I think maybe yes." And for the first time in many days, I believe it. We go to the bakery at 5 a.m. It is cold. It is dark. But we are ready. The man gives us simple tasks. He says, "Clean the tables, wash the trays, help with the bread." We don't talk much. We don't know many words. But we work hard. At the end of the day, he gives us money. It is not much, but it is honest. I look at Sophia and say, "We did it." She smiles and says, Yes. It's just the beginning. We go back to the shelter. We save our money. Every week we work. Every day we learn a little more English. We learn how to say, good morning. We learn how to say, how much is this? We learn how to say, I want to work. After 1 month, we find a small room to rent. It's not big. It's not perfect. But it is ours. We buy food. We cook simple meals. We talk about our dreams. I say, one day I want to study. Sophia says, one day I want to open a bakery. I say, one day I want to bring my family here. We don't have much, but we have hope. I call my mother. She cries. She says, are you okay? I say, yes. We are working. We are learning. We are safe. She says, I'm proud of you. My father says, be careful, but I believe in you now. I cry too, but not from fear, from hope. One night, Sophia and I sit in silence. I say, do you remember the day we left? She says, yes, I was so scared. I say, me too, but look at us now. She says, we are not done. I say, no, we are just starting. Then I think, we left with nothing, just dreams, just fear. But we took the risk, and now we are not lost. We are building something new, step by step, day by day. This is not the end. This is the beginning. Now I think about everything. I think about the fear, the danger, the long nights. I think about the moment I said goodbye to my parents. I think about the times I wanted to cry and the times I wanted to go back. But I didn't stop. Why? Because I had a dream, a small dream. But it was mine. Sometimes life is not easy. Sometimes we are scared. But we must try. We must take one step, then another, and another. Even if we're tired. Even if we don't know what will happen next. Dreams are not fast. Dreams are not perfect. But dreams are possible. If you are watching my story, maybe you have a dream too. Don't wait for the perfect moment. There is no perfect moment. Start now. Start small. Believe in yourself. And remember, even when you feel lost, you can still find your way. Hello everyone. Today I want to talk to you about how to speak to people in English. Speaking English can feel hard at first, but with practice, you can get better. The key is to start with simple words and sentences. Don't worry about making mistakes. It's normal to make mistakes when you are learning something new. The most important thing is to try. When you talk to someone in English, start with a smile. A smile shows that you are friendly and that you want to talk. Smiling can help you feel more relaxed, and it makes the other person feel comfortable too. It's always a good idea to be polite. Politeness helps you to make a good impression, and people will be happy to talk to you. When you meet someone for the first time, you can start by saying hello or hi. These are very common greetings. After that, you can ask, how are you? This is a simple way to show that you care about how the other person is feeling. They may reply with, I'm fine, thank you, or I'm good. After they answer, it's nice to say, and you? This shows that you are interested in how they feel too. If you want to keep the conversation going, you can ask simple questions. For example, you can ask, what's your name? Or, where are you from? People like to talk about themselves, and these questions are a good way to learn more about them. Asking questions also helps you to keep talking without feeling nervous. Another good question is, what do you do? This means you are asking about the other person's job or what they study. They might say, I am a student, or I work in a store. You can then ask, do you like your job? Or, what do you study? These are easy questions, and they help you learn more about the other person. When someone asks you a question, remember to answer with a short, simple sentence. For example, if they ask, where are you from? You can say, I am from Japan, or I am from Brazil. After answering, you can ask the same question back to them. You could say, and you? Where are you from? This keeps the conversation moving. Sometimes, it's good to talk about the weather. The weather is a topic everyone can talk about. You can say, it's a nice day, or it's very cold today. The other person might agree with you, and then you can continue talking. If they say something about the weather, try to respond with a simple sentence. For example, if they say, it's hot today, you can reply, yes, it is. If you want to talk about your interests, you can use simple phrases like, I like music, or I like to play soccer. If the other person also likes music or soccer, you can talk more about it. You can ask, what music do you like? Or, do you play soccer? Talking about hobbies is a great way to make friends and keep a conversation going. When you are talking to someone, it's important to listen carefully. Listening is just as important as speaking. If you don't understand something, it's okay to ask them to repeat. You can say, can you say that again, please? Or, sorry, I didn't understand. People will not mind if you ask them to repeat. They know you are learning, and they will be happy to help. If you don't know how to say something, try to use simple words. You don't need to use difficult words when you are learning. For example, if you don't know the word for delicious, you can say, the food is very good. People will still understand what you mean. It's okay to keep things simple when you're learning. Also, don't be afraid of silence. Sometimes when you're talking, there might be a short pause. This is normal, and it gives you time to think. You don't have to rush when you're speaking. Take your time and try to say what you want. The other person will wait for you, and they will understand that you are learning. If you are not sure how to end a conversation, you can say, it was nice talking to you, or I have to go now. These are polite ways to end a conversation. You can also say, see you later, or goodbye before you leave. If you are talking to someone new, this will leave a good impression. It's a good idea to practice speaking English as much as you can. The more you practice, the easier it will become. Try to find people who also want to learn English, and you can practice together. You can also practice by listening to English videos or songs. This will help you hear how words are pronounced, and you can try to say them too. When you are talking to people, don't worry if you don't know all the words. You don't need a big vocabulary to start speaking English. Even if you know only a few words, you can still have a conversation. Start with what you know, and slowly, you will learn more words as you keep practicing. Remember, the more you speak, the more confident you will become. At first, you may feel shy or nervous, but that's okay. Everyone feels that way when they are learning a new language. Just keep trying, and little by little you will improve. Don't give up. In the end, speaking English is all about communication. It's not about being perfect. It's about being able to talk to others and share your ideas. People will understand that you are learning, and they will appreciate your efforts. So, be patient with yourself and keep practicing. With time, you will become better at speaking English, and it will become more natural for you. Now let's talk about how to keep a conversation going in English. When you are speaking to someone, it's important to ask questions. Questions help the conversation continue. They also show that you are interested in the other person. Asking questions is easy when you use simple words. For example, you can ask, "Do you like coffee?" Or, "Do you have a pet?" These are easy questions that anyone can answer. The other person might say, "Yes, I like coffee," or, "No, I don't have a pet." You can then say something like, "I like coffee too," or, "I have a dog." This helps you share something about yourself, and the other person can learn more about you. Another good question to ask is about people's free time. You can ask, "What do you do in your free time?" This means you are asking what the person likes to do when they are not working or studying. The other person might say, "I like to read books," or "I like to watch movies." Then you can ask more questions like, "What kind of books do you read?" Or, "What is your favorite movie?" These questions help the conversation grow. You don't need to ask big or difficult questions. Simple questions like these are good because they are easy to understand and they make the conversation interesting. Talking about family is also a nice way to start a conversation. People often like to talk about their family. You can ask, "Do you have brothers or sisters?" The person might answer, "Yes, I have one brother," or, "No, I don't have any brothers or sisters." After they answer, you can tell them about your family. For example, you can say, "I have 2 sisters," or, "I have a big family." Talking about family helps people feel close, and it's a topic that many people enjoy discussing. If you don't know what to say, that's okay. Sometimes, it can be hard to think of new questions. If you feel stuck, just take a deep breath. You can repeat something the other person said. For example, if they say, "I like to travel," you can say, Oh, you like to travel? This shows that you are listening, and it helps the other person keep talking. They might tell you more about the places they have visited or the places they want to go. Repeating what the other person says is a good way to keep the conversation going, especially when you don't know what to say next. Let's talk about speaking clearly. When you are talking to someone, it's important to speak clearly so they can understand you. You don't need to speak very fast. In fact, speaking slowly is a good idea when you are learning English. This gives you time to think about what you want to say, and it also helps the other person understand you better. Don't worry if you feel like you are speaking too slowly. It's better to speak slowly and clearly than to speak quickly and make mistakes. Pronunciation is also important when you're speaking English. Pronunciation means how you say the words. Sometimes English words can be difficult to pronounce. If you are not sure how to say a word, you can ask the other person. You can say, "How do you say this word?" Or, "Can you help me with my pronunciation?" People are usually happy to help, and they will tell you how to say the word correctly. Over time, your pronunciation will get better with practice. When you are talking to someone, it's good to make eye contact. Eye contact means looking at the person's face, especially their eyes, while you are speaking. This shows that you are paying attention, and it helps the conversation feel more personal. In some cultures, people do not make much eye contact, but in English-speaking countries, eye contact is usually seen as polite. If you feel shy, you don't have to look at the person all the time. You can look away for a few seconds and then look back at them. The important thing is to show that you're listening and that you care about what the other person is saying. Another way to show that you are listening is to nod your head. When the other person is speaking, you can nod your head to show that you understand. This is a simple way to communicate without using words. You can also say, "Yes" or "I see," while the other person is talking. These small words show that you are listening and following the conversation. Sometimes, when you are talking to someone, you might not understand everything they say. This is okay. It's normal to have trouble understanding when you are learning a new language. If you don't understand, don't be afraid to ask for help. You can say, "I'm sorry, can you repeat that?" Or, "Can you speak more slowly, please?" Most people will be happy to help you by speaking more slowly or saying the sentence again. It's also important to remember that you don't have to understand every single word. Even native English speakers don't always understand every word in a conversation. What's more important is understanding the general meaning of what the person is saying. If you miss a word or two, that's okay. Try to focus on the main idea of the conversation. With practice, you will start to understand more and more. When you are talking, it's okay to make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes when they are learning a new language. Mistakes are a natural part of learning. Don't feel embarrassed if you say something wrong. The other person will understand that you are learning, and they won't mind. In fact, they might even help you by correcting your mistake. For example, if you say, I go to the store. The other person might say, oh, you mean, I went to the store. This is helpful because it shows you the correct way to say it. Don't feel bad about making mistakes. Each mistake is a chance to learn something new. Another good way to improve your English is to practice with different people. Each person speaks a little differently, so talking to many different people can help you get used to different speaking styles. Some people speak fast, and some people speak slowly. Some people use a lot of short words, while others might use longer, more difficult words. By practicing with many people, you can learn to understand different types of English. You can also improve your speaking skills by listening to how different people talk. Listening is a big part of learning how to talk in English. The more you listen, the better you will become at speaking. When you listen to other people, pay attention to the words they use and how they put sentences together. Try to repeat some of the things they say in your own conversations. This will help you remember new words and phrases. You can also listen to English on TV, in movies, or in songs. Even if you don't understand everything, listening helps you get used to the sound of the language. If you are watching a TV show or movie in English, you can turn on the subtitles. Subtitles are the words that appear at the bottom of the screen while the characters are speaking. This can help you follow the conversation and learn new words. After watching the show with subtitles, you can try watching it again without them. This will help you practice understanding spoken English without needing to read the words. You can also practice your English by talking to yourself. This might sound strange, but it's a great way to practice. You can practice simple conversations in your head or out loud. For example, you can imagine you are talking to a friend and then practice what you would say. You can also describe things around you in English. For example, if you are at home, you can say, "This is my kitchen," or "I am sitting on a chair." Practicing in this way helps you get more comfortable with speaking English, and you can do it anytime, even when you are alone. Let's talk a little more about asking for help. When you are learning English, it's okay to ask people for help. If you don't know a word, you can say, "What does this word mean?" Or, "How do you say this in English?" People will usually be happy to help you. It's also a good idea to carry a small notebook with you. If someone teaches you a new word, you can write it down so you can remember it later. Writing things down helps you remember them better, and you can look at your notes whenever you need to. In English, there are many ways to say the same thing. For example, if you want to ask someone if they are okay, you can say, "Are you okay?" Or, "How are you doing?" Or, "Is everything all right?" These are all polite ways to check on someone. Don't worry if you don't know all the different ways to say something. Start with the phrases you know, and slowly learn new ones. As you practice, you will get better at using different phrases. When you are speaking, try to use simple words. Simple words are easier for you to remember, and they are also easier for the other person to understand. You don't need to use big or difficult words to have a good conversation. For example, instead of saying, "I am famished," you can say, I am very hungry. Both sentences mean the same thing, but the second one is easier to understand. Using simple words also makes it easier for you to focus on the conversation and not worry too much about your vocabulary. If you are not sure how to say something, you can try using other words to explain it. This is called paraphrasing. For example, if you don't know the word for library, you can say, the place where you go to read books. The other person will understand what you mean, and this helps you keep talking without stopping the conversation. Paraphrasing is a great skill to have when you are learning a new language because it helps you communicate even when you don't know all the words. Speaking English is like any other skill. It gets better with practice. The more you practice, the more confident you will become. You can practice by talking to friends, classmates, or even strangers. If you are shy, you can start by practicing with people you know well. As you get more comfortable, you can try talking to new people. It's okay to feel nervous at first. Everyone feels a little nervous when they are learning something new. Just remember that the more you practice, the easier it will get. When you are practicing, try to speak out loud. Speaking out loud helps you hear how the words sound, and it also helps you get used to forming the words with your mouth. This is important because speaking a new language is not just about knowing the words. It's also about being able to say them clearly. Speaking out loud, even if you are alone, helps you get better at pronouncing the words correctly. If you have a friend who is also learning English, you can practice together. You can take turns asking each other questions and answering them. This is a fun way to practice, and it also helps you feel more confident because you know that your friend is learning too. You can help each other by correcting mistakes and learning new words together. Practicing with a friend makes learning more enjoyable, and it gives you both a chance to improve. Sometimes, you might feel like you are not making progress, but don't worry. Learning a new language takes time, and it's normal to have ups and downs. Some days, you will feel like you are learning a lot, and other days, you might feel stuck. This is all part of the process. The important thing is to keep practicing and not give up. Each day you practice, you are getting better even if it doesn't always feel like it. Let's continue talking about speaking English with more tips and examples. I know learning English can be hard, but don't worry. The more you practice, the better you will get. The key is to not give up, even when it feels difficult. One important thing to remember is to be patient with yourself. Learning a language takes time. You will not learn everything in one day or even in 1 month. But if you keep practicing every day little by little, you will improve. It is like learning any new skill. For example, if you want to learn to play a musical instrument, you have to practice every day. At first, you might only know how to play 1 or 2 notes. But with time, you will learn how to play songs. It's the same with learning English. Start with what you know and keep adding new words and sentences. Over time, you will see how much you have learned. A good way to practice English is to talk to yourself. I know this sounds a little strange, but it can really help. You can talk about simple things. For example, when you are cooking, you can say, I am cutting the vegetables, or I am boiling water. When you are getting ready in the morning, you can say, I am brushing my teeth, or I am getting dressed. Talking to yourself in English helps you practice using the language in everyday situations. It also helps you get used to thinking in English. The more you think in English, the easier it will be to speak. Another great way to practice is by watching TV shows or movies in English. When you watch something in English, you hear how people talk in real life. You can listen to how they ask questions, how they answer, and how they use words in different situations. If you don't understand everything, that's okay. You don't need to understand every single word to learn. Focus on the main idea. You can also turn on the subtitles to help you understand. After watching, you can try to repeat some of the sentences. This will help you remember new words and phrases. Music is another fun way to learn English. You can listen to English songs and try to sing along. Music helps you learn the rhythm of the language and improves your pronunciation. You can start with simple songs that have easy words. As you get better, you can try listening to more difficult songs. Singing along to music helps you practice speaking, and it makes learning more enjoyable. It's also helpful to read in English. You don't have to read long books or difficult texts. You can start with something simple, like short stories or children's books. These books use simple language and short sentences, so they are easier to understand. When you read, try to say the words out loud. This will help you practice your pronunciation. If you see a word you don't know, you can write it down and look it up later. Then, try to use the new word in your own sentences. Reading is a great way to learn new vocabulary and see how words are used in context. If you like writing, you can keep a diary in English. Every day you can write a few sentences about what you did or how you feel. For example, you can write, Today I went to the park, or I feel happy because it is sunny. Writing helps you practice using English, and it also helps you organize your thoughts. You don't have to write a lot. Even writing a few sentences every day will help you improve. Over time, you will see how much better your writing becomes. When you talk to someone in English, try to speak slowly and clearly. Don't worry about speaking fast. It's better to take your time and say the words correctly. Speaking slowly also gives you more time to think about what you want to say. It's normal to pause and think during a conversation. You don't need to rush. The other person will understand that you are learning, and they will be patient with you. Sometimes, when you are speaking, you might forget a word. This happens to everyone, even people who speak English as their first language. If you forget a word, don't panic. You can describe what you mean in a different way. For example, if you forget the word restaurant, you can say, the place where people go to eat. The other person will understand what you mean, and this will help keep the conversation going. Describing things in different ways is a useful skill when you are learning a new language. Another important tip is to listen carefully when other people are speaking. Listening is just as important as speaking. When you listen carefully, you learn new words and phrases, and you also see how sentences are structured. If you don't understand something, it's okay to ask. You can say, "Can you repeat that, please?" Or, "I didn't understand. Can you say it again?" People will not mind repeating things for you. They will understand that you are learning, and they will be happy to help. It's a good idea to practice with different people. Each person speaks a little differently, and this will help you get used to hearing different accents and speaking styles. Some people speak very fast, while others speak more slowly. Some people use a lot of slang or casual words, while others use more formal language. By practicing with different people, you will learn how to understand different types of English. This will also help you become more confident in your speaking. When you are learning English, it's important to celebrate your progress. Every time you learn a new word or use a new sentence, you are improving. It's easy to feel like you are not learning fast enough, but remember that every little step is progress. Even if you learn just one new word a day, by the end of the year, you'll know over 300 new words. So, don't be too hard on yourself. Be proud of what you have learned and keep moving forward. It's also helpful to set small goals for yourself. For example, you can set a goal to learn 5 new words this week, or to have one short conversation in English every day. Setting small goals makes learning more manageable, and it gives you something to work towards. When you reach your goal, you will feel proud of yourself, and this will motivate you to keep learning. Another tip is to use English in your daily life as much as possible. The more you use English, the more comfortable you will become with it. You can label things in your house with their English names. For example, you can put a label on your refrigerator that says refrigerator, or on your door that says door. This helps you learn new words and keeps English in your mind throughout the day. You can also try thinking in English. This is a great way to practice when you are alone. For example, when you are walking or sitting quietly, try to think about what you are doing in English. You can say in your mind, "I am walking to the store," or "I am drinking coffee." Thinking in English helps you get used to the language, and it makes speaking easier when you are talking to someone else. If you have friends who are also learning English, you can practice together. You can have simple conversations with each other, and you can help each other when you make mistakes. Learning with a friend is fun because you can encourage each other and share new words and phrases that you learn. You can also correct each other's mistakes in a friendly way, which helps you both improve. Remember, it's okay to make mistakes when you're learning. Mistakes are a natural part of the learning process. Every time you make a mistake, you learn something new. Don't be afraid to make mistakes when you are speaking. The important thing is to keep trying. People will understand that you are learning, and they will be patient with you. It's also important to practice speaking regularly. If you only practice once in a while, it will take longer to improve. But if you practice a little bit every day, you will see progress much faster. You don't need to practice for hours at a time. Even practicing for 10 or 15 minutes a day can make a big difference. The key is to be consistent. The more you practice, the more confident you will become. If you are nervous about speaking to new people, you can start by practicing in front of a mirror. This helps you get used to seeing yourself speak, and it can make you feel more comfortable when you talk to others. You can practice simple conversations, like introducing yourself or asking questions. Practicing in front of a mirror helps you become more confident, and it gives you a chance to work on your pronunciation and body language. Another thing to remember is that everyone learns at their own pace. Some people might learn quickly, while others take more time. This is completely normal. Don't compare yourself to other people. Focus on your own progress and keep working towards your goals. Learning a new language is a personal journey, and everyone's journey is different. If you ever feel frustrated or stuck, take a break. It's okay to rest when you're tired. Sometimes, stepping away from learning for a short time can help you come back with a fresh mind. After a break, you might find that things are easier to understand. The important thing is to keep going, even if it's a little bit at a time. You can also join online groups or forums where people practice English. These groups give you a chance to talk to people from all over the world who are also learning English. You can ask questions, share tips, and practice having conversations. It's a great way to meet new people and learn from each other. Another good idea is to record yourself speaking English. You can record a short message or conversation and then listen to it later. This helps you hear how you sound when you speak. You can notice things like pronunciation, or if you are speaking too fast or too slowly. Listening to yourself helps you find areas where you can improve. It's also a good way to see how much progress you've made over time. When you are learning English, it's okay to feel nervous or shy at times. This is a normal feeling when you are doing something new. But the more you practice, the more comfortable you will become. Speaking a new language takes courage, and every time you practice, you are building that courage. So, don't be afraid to speak, even if you feel shy. Each time you speak, you are getting better. If you ever feel discouraged, remember why you started learning English in the first place. Maybe you want to travel, or maybe you want to talk to more people from different countries. Whatever your reason, keep it in mind and let it motivate you. Learning English opens up many opportunities, and it's worth the effort. Let's continue talking about learning and practicing English. Learning a new language is a journey. It can feel difficult at times, but with practice, you will improve. Remember, it's important to practice every day, even if only for a few minutes. Every small step you take will help you become better at speaking English. When you are learning English, one of the most important things to do is to listen. Listening helps you understand how people speak in real conversations. You can listen to conversations, TV shows, music, or podcasts. Even if you don't understand everything, don't worry. Just try to focus on the main ideas. Over time, you will start to understand more and more. If you hear a word you don't know, You can write it down. Later, you can look up the meaning of the word and learn how to use it. Writing down new words helps you remember them better. You can also try using the new word in a sentence. For example, if you learn the word delicious, you can say, "The food is delicious." Practicing new words like this helps you remember them and use them in your conversations. Another way to practice English is to ask questions. When you are speaking to someone, don't be afraid to ask questions if you don't understand something. You can say, "Can you explain that, please?" Or, "What does that mean?" People will be happy to help you. Asking questions is a good way to learn and improve your understanding. When you are speaking, it's okay to make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes when learning a new language. Making mistakes is part of the learning process. Every time you make a mistake, you learn something new. Don't worry if you say something wrong. The important thing is to keep talking and practicing. People will understand that you are learning and will be patient with you. Sometimes, it can be helpful to record yourself speaking. You can record yourself reading a sentence or talking about your day. Then, listen to the recording. This helps you hear how you sound when you speak English. You can notice if you are pronouncing words correctly, or if you need to slow down. Listening to yourself can help you find areas where you can improve. It also helps you become more comfortable with speaking. A good tip for learning English is to practice speaking out loud. Even if you are alone, you can practice speaking. For example, when you are cooking, you can say, "I am cutting vegetables." Or, when you are walking, you can say, "I am going to the store." Speaking out loud helps you get used to forming the words with your mouth. It also helps you practice pronunciation and speaking clearly. You can also talk about your daily activities in English. For example, you can say, "I woke up at 7 a.m." or "I am having breakfast." This helps you practice using English in real-life situations. The more you practice, the more comfortable you will become with using English in your everyday life. If you are shy or nervous about speaking to other people, it can help to practice in front of a mirror. Stand in front of the mirror and pretend you are talking to someone. You can practice introducing yourself or asking simple questions. This helps you become more confident, and it helps you get used to seeing yourself speak. Practicing in front of a mirror is a good way to build your confidence before you speak to others. Another way to practice is to read simple books in English. You don't need to start with difficult books. You can choose short stories or books for beginners. Reading helps you learn new words and understand how sentences are structured. When you read, try to say the words out loud. This helps you practice pronunciation and speaking clearly. If you find a word you don't know, write it down and look it up later. Writing in English is also a good way to practice. You don't need to write long essays. You can start by writing short sentences about your day. For example, you can write, "Today I went to the park." Or, "I am happy because it is sunny." Writing helps you organize your thoughts and practice using English. It also helps you remember new words and how to use them in sentences. If you have friends who are learning English, you can practice together. You can take turns asking each other questions and answering them. For example, you can ask, "What did you do today?" And your friend can answer, "I went to the store." Practicing with a friend makes learning more fun. You can help each other by correcting mistakes and sharing new words. It's also a good way to build your confidence, because you know your friend is learning too. Another thing to remember when learning English is to be patient with yourself. Learning a new language takes time. You won't learn everything in one day. Some days, you might feel like you are making a lot of progress, and other days, you might feel like you are stuck. This is normal. The important thing is to keep practicing. Even when it feels difficult, don't give up. Every day you practice, you're getting better, even if it doesn't always feel like it. It's also helpful to set small goals for yourself. For example, you can set a goal to learn 5 new words this week, or to have one short conversation in English every day. Setting small goals helps you stay focused and gives you something to work towards. When you reach your goal, you will feel proud of yourself, and this will motivate you to keep going. A fun way to practice English is by watching TV shows or movies in English. When you watch something in English, you hear how people speak in real-life situations. You can listen to how they ask questions, how they answer, and how they use words in different situations. If you don't understand everything, that's okay. You don't need to understand every word. Just focus on the main ideas. You can also turn on subtitles to help you understand. After watching, you can try to repeat some of the sentences you heard. This will help you remember new words and phrases. Another fun way to learn English is by listening to music. You can listen to songs in English and try to sing along. Music helps you learn the rhythm of the language and improves your pronunciation. You can start with simple songs that have easy words. As you get better, you can try listening to more difficult songs. Singing along to music is a fun way to practice speaking and helps make learning more enjoyable. You can also practice English by talking to yourself. For example, when you are doing something simple like cooking or cleaning, you can say what you are doing in English. You can say, "I am washing the dishes," or "I am cleaning the table." Talking to yourself helps you practice using English in everyday situations. It also helps you get used to thinking in English. The more you practice, the more natural it will feel. If you like writing, you can keep a diary in English. Every day you can write a few sentences about what you did or how you feel. For example, you can write, "Today I went to the park," or "I feel happy because it is sunny." Writing in a diary helps you practice using English and helps you remember new words and phrases. It's also a good way to track your progress and see how much you have improved over time. It's important to remember that learning a language is a journey. There will be times when it feels easy and times when it feels hard. That's okay. The most important thing is to keep going. Even if you only practice for a few minutes each day, you are making progress. The more you practice, the better you will get. One of the best ways to learn English is by using it in your daily life. For example, when you go to a store, you can try speaking to the cashier in English. You can ask, "How much is this?" or "Where is the milk?" These small conversations help you practice speaking and give you a chance to use what you have learned in real-life situations. Another way to use English in your daily life is to label things in your house with their English names. For example, you can put a label on your refrigerator that says refrigerator, or on your door that says door. This helps you learn new words and keeps English in your mind throughout the day. You can also try thinking in English. This is a great way to practice when you are alone. For example, when you are walking or sitting quietly, try to think about what you are doing in English. You can say in your mind, "I am walking to the store," or "I am drinking coffee." Thinking in English helps you get used to the language and makes speaking easier when you are talking to someone else. If you are feeling nervous about speaking to new people, you can start by practicing with people you know well. For example, you can practice with your friends, family, or classmates. The more you practice with people you know, the more confident you will feel when speaking to new people. It's okay to feel nervous at first. Everyone feels nervous when they are learning something new. But the more you practice, the easier it will become. When you talk to someone in English, it's okay to pause and think about what you want to say. You don't need to speak quickly. Speaking slowly gives you time to think and helps you say the words more clearly. It's also okay to ask the other person to repeat something if you didn't understand. You can say, "Can you say that again, please?" Or, "I didn't understand. Can you explain?" People will be happy to help you. It's also important to listen carefully when other people are speaking. Listening helps you learn new words and phrases, and it also helps you understand how sentences are structured. The more you listen, the better you will understand. If you don't understand something, don't be afraid to ask. You can say, "What does that mean?" Or, "Can you explain that, please?" Asking questions helps you learn and improves your understanding. Another helpful tip is to practice with different people. Each person speaks a little differently, and this will help you get used to hearing different accents and speaking styles. Some people speak fast, while others speak more slowly. Some people use more slang or casual words, while others use more formal language. Practicing with different people helps you learn how to understand different types of English and helps you become more confident in your speaking. If you are feeling stuck or frustrated, it's okay to take a break. Learning a language takes time, and it's important to be patient with yourself. Sometimes, taking a short break can help you come back with a fresh mind. After a break, you might find that things are easier to understand. The important thing is to keep going and not give up. You can also join online groups or forums where people practice English. These groups give you a chance to talk to people from all over the world who are also learning English. You can ask questions, share tips, and practice having conversations. It's a great way to meet new people and learn from each other. In conclusion, learning English takes time, patience, and practice. The more you practice, the better you will get. Don't be afraid to make mistakes, and remember to ask questions when you need help. Keep practicing every day, even if only for a few minutes. Little by little, you will improve and become more confident in speaking English. Keep going, and don't give up. You are doing a great job. Thank you for listening. I hope you feel more confident about speaking English now. Just remember to smile, be polite, and keep practicing. You are doing great. Please like, subscribe, and press the bell notification so that you never miss new updates. Have a nice day.